The giant doors of the Varkon throne hall opened with a deep metallic sound, like a mountain cracking. Captain Aaron Hale stood alone in the center of the hall, surrounded by thousands of alien soldiers. Their dark armor reflected purple light, and their sharp weapons hummed with strange energy. Any normal human would have collapsed from fear. But Aaron did not move. His boots stayed firm on the glowing crystal floor. His hands were tied behind him, his face bruised from capture, but his eyes stayed calm, too calm for someone brought before the most feared ruler in the galaxy. The Varkon soldiers watched him with shock. "Why is the human not shaking?" one whispered. "Is he broken?" another asked. But the answer was simple. Aaron Hale was a soldier who had faced death too many times to be scared of shadows. The hall was massive, taller than any human building. Strange symbols floated in the air like small blue flames. Thick shadows filled the corners, moving as if alive. It felt like the whole place was watching him, waiting for something. Then the echo of heavy steps filled the room. Every alien soldier dropped to one knee. The temperature in the room seemed to fall as she entered, the ruler of the Varkon Empire, the warrior queen herself, Zalrina. She was taller than any human, dressed in dark silver armor marked with ancient runes. Her eyes glowed like burning stars. Her presence alone could make a strong man feel small. But Aaron did not bow. He stood straight, facing her without fear. The queen stopped only a few feet away. Her expression was unreadable behind her battle crown. The air around her shimmered with energy, making the walls tremble. When she spoke, her voice echoed through the hall, carrying both power and danger. "Human," she said slowly, her tone filled with curiosity and threat. "Why do you not fear me?" The hall went silent. Even the soldiers held their breath. For thousands of years, no creature had stood before the queen without trembling, not even her own generals. Aaron took a small breath. His voice was steady. "Fear makes you weak," he said. "Humans don't break that easily." Whispers rose like a storm behind him. "He insults her. He wants death. This human is mad." But the queen did not raise her weapon. Instead, she circled Aaron slowly, like a predator studying strange prey. She looked at his eyes, his posture, the way he refused to flinch. He was not lying. He truly felt no fear. For the first time in many years, the queen seemed confused. She leaned in close, her voice low. "Do you think bravery will save you?" Aaron answered calmly. "I think truth will." The queen took a step back. Something cold and sharp moved in her expression, but not anger. Somewhere deep inside her eyes, there was a spark of interest. Her generals, however, were furious. A tall Varkon commander shouted, "My queen! Allow us to execute him. He is dangerous." Zalrina raised her hand, and the commander immediately fell silent. "No," she said. "This human is unusual." She turned back to Aaron. "Take him," she ordered. "But do not harm him. I will test him myself." 4 armored guards stepped forward. They unlocked Aaron's restraints but grabbed his arms tightly. As they let him out, Aaron glanced back. The queen was still watching him. Her glowing eyes did not show anger, only curiosity, and something deeper, something he could not understand yet. The guards dragged Aaron through long corridors filled with alien writing, strange technology, and floating drones. Finally, they pushed him into a high-tech chamber. Machines hummed, screens flickered, and a cold table sat in the center. Aaron realized this was not a prison cell. This was a testing room. A Varkon scientist entered, her arms tapping on different consoles at once. His eyes were metallic blue. "Human," the scientist said. "The queen wants to understand what you are. Do not resist." Aaron gave a small shrug. "I wasn't planning to." Machines scanned his body. Lights flashed. Strange energy fields wrapped around him. The tests were painfully shots of electricity, pressure changes, intense heat and cold, but Aaron kept his jaw tight and made no sound. Every time he refused to react, the scientist's eyes widened more. Impossible, the scientist whispered. Humans should not endure this. Hours passed. The door opened again. Queen Zalrina entered, silent and serious. All the scientists bowed deeply. Aaron looked up at her. Round 2, he asked. One of the guards hit him in the stomach, but the queen raised her hand. Do not touch him, she ordered. She walked around the table and studied him closely. You passed tests no human or alien should survive, she said. And yet, you still feel no fear? Aaron met her eyes. Fear is a choice. I choose not to give it power. The queen stared at him for a long moment. A strange emotion moved across her face, something between respect and confusion. Finally, she nodded to the guards. Release him. The chains fell away. Aaron stood tall again. The queen turned toward the exit but stopped halfway. Without facing him, she spoke. Human, your courage interests me. I will speak with you again soon. The door closed behind her. Aaron exhaled slowly. He wasn't afraid, but he understood something important. The queen was not testing his body. She was testing his soul. And for some reason, his answers mattered to her more than he expected. Hours later, in her private chamber, Zalrina sat on her throne, replaying Aaron's words in her mind. Fear makes you weak. Humans don't break easily. No one had spoken to her like that in centuries. No one had looked into her eyes without fear. Her advisor approached. My queen, what do you wish to do with the human? The queen's glowing eyes narrowed. I wish to understand him. She leaned back on her throne, deep in thought. This human was different. This human might change everything. The next morning, the Varkon palace shook with the sound of alarms. Red lights flashed along the tall crystal walls as soldiers moved quickly through the halls. Something unusual was happening. Inside his chamber, Aaron Hale sat on the cold floor, calmly tying the torn sleeve of his uniform. He had slept only a few hours, but he looked more relaxed than the alien guards watching him. His calmness made them uneasy. Suddenly, the doors opened. Queen Zalrina entered. She wore lighter armor today, made for movement rather than war. Her bright eyes glowed like blue fire as she looked at Aaron. Human, she said softly. Come with me. The guards straightened in fear. They knew what it meant when the queen used that tone. It meant she was preparing for something important, something dangerous. Aaron stood without hesitation. Lead the way. The queen's expression did not change, but Aaron noticed a small flicker of interest in her eyes. They walked through a long corridor filled with tall windows showing the alien sky. Strange flying creatures glided past, leaving trails of blue sparks. The light outside was a soft violet, giving everything an otherworldly glow. Finally, the queen stopped in front of a massive door made of dark crystal. She turned to Aaron. In your world, she asked. How do you measure courage? Aaron shrugged. By how many times a person stands back up, after being knocked down? The queen studied him for a moment, then pressed her palm to the crystal door. It opened with a deep rumble. Inside was a large training arena, one used only by elite Varkon warriors. The floor shifted like living metal. Weapons floated in the air. Energy storms cracked in the corners of the chamber. 100 Varkon commanders stood in a circle. When Aaron entered, they laughed. This human thinks he is strong? He will fall in seconds. Your Majesty, please allow us to teach him fear. The queen raised her hand, and silence fell like ice. She walked into the center and faced Aaron. Human, she said, her voice echoing. Today, I test you myself. A murmur of shock spread around the arena. The queen personally testing a prisoner? Unheard of. Aaron looked at her armor, her energy blade, the glowing symbols on her arms. She was stronger, faster, and more experienced than any human alive. He still smiled. All right, he said. Let's try. A ripple of surprise crossed the queen's face before she masked it. The arena lights dimmed. A loud voice announced. Trial 1, Survival. A sudden wave of force slammed across the arena. Aaron dropped to one knee but quickly pushed himself up, bracing against the storm. Energy bolts shot toward him from every direction. He dodged, rolled, and slid across the shifting floor. His muscles burned, sweat dripped, but he kept moving. The Queen watched closely. Her generals whispered in disbelief. He should be unconscious. Humans are weaker than this, how is he standing? Aaron didn't give them an answer. He just kept fighting the storm, refusing to fall. Finally, the storm faded. Aaron stood again, breathing hard but steady. The Queen stepped forward. Trial 2, she announced. Combat. She pulled out a glowing blade. Aaron tightened his fists. The Queen launched forward with incredible speed. Her blade flashed toward Aaron's chest, and he barely dodged. The air sizzled behind him. Another strike came fast enough to cut through steel. Aaron ducked under it, rolled, and threw a punch. It hit her armor, echoing loudly. She didn't move. The Queen smiled for the first time. A small smile, but a real one. You fight without fear, she said. Aaron wiped blood from his lip. You swing fast. She attacked again, harder this time. Sparks flew as Aaron blocked with his forearms, grabbed her wrist, and twisted his body. He was not stronger than her, but he used her weight and speed against her. She landed lightly and tilted her head. Human battle logic, she murmured. Strange. Efficient. They fought across the arena, her movements sharp and controlled, his movements raw but clever. Every time she knocked him down, he stood back up. Every time she overpowered him, he found a new angle. The watchers grew silent. For the first time in their lives, they saw someone match the Queen not in strength, but in spirit. Finally, the Queen stopped. Both of them breathing hard. Enough. Her voice was firm, but not angry. The arena went quiet. She stepped closer, studying his face. You should have been broken 10 times, she said. Why do you keep standing? Aaron looked straight into her glowing eyes. Because someone has to. She blinked just once, surprised again by his answer. Before she could say more, the arena doors burst open. A wounded Varkon guard stumbled inside. My Queen, he shouted. An assassination attempt inside the palace. The Queen's expression turned to stone. Where? Your personal chamber. They thought you were there. Aaron's eyes narrowed. Your own people? The guard nodded, shaking. Rebel generals. They want the human dead. They do not trust your interest in him. The Queen's energy flickered dangerously around her. Her own people had tried to kill her because she showed curiosity toward a human. For a moment, she looked truly furious. Then Aaron spoke, calm as always. If they're trying to kill you, we should move. The rebels' footsteps echoed in the hallway outside. The Queen looked at Aaron, a prisoner who had every reason to run yet offered to help her. She raised her chin. Stand with me, human. For now, Aaron replied with a small smile. She didn't smile back. But she gave a slow nod. Side by side, human and Queen stepped into the hallway as shadows and enemies closed in around them. The trials were over. The real danger had just begun. The palace halls burned with red warning lights as Aaron and Queen Zalrina moved together, side by side. The sound of running soldiers echoed through the corridors, some loyal, some rebels. The air smelled of smoke and energy blasts. It was chaos. Yet Aaron walked with the same calm confidence he had shown since the moment he was captured. And the Queen, she kept looking at him out of the corner of her eye, as if she still couldn't understand the human at her side. They reached a wide corridor only to see a squad of rebel generals blocking the path. Their armor carried the symbol of betrayal. The lead general pointed at Aaron. My Queen, he shouted angrily. You allow this human to stand beside you? He poisons your judgment. The Queen stepped forward, voice sharp as ice. You entered my chamber with weapons drawn. You tried to kill your own ruler. To save the Empire, the general growled. This human is dangerous. He changes you. That cannot be allowed. Aaron leaned a little closer to the queen and whispered without fear. They're scared of you thinking for yourself. Zalrina almost smiled, but only for a moment. The rebels raised their weapons. Surrender the human, the general warned. Or fall with him. The queen didn't move. Aaron didn't move. For a full second, the hall was silent. Then the queen spoke, her voice low and deadly. I do not surrender. The rebels opened fire. But Aaron was faster than any human had a right to be. He pushed the queen behind a pillar and took cover. The blasts burned the wall, shaking the entire hallway. Human, she shouted, surprised he defended her instinctively. Aaron didn't answer. He grabbed a fallen Varkon shield and charged forward. Every energy bolt crashed against the shield, lighting his face in blue sparks. He slid across the floor, knocked down 2 rebels, and used the shield to redirect a blast into another commander. The queen watched with wide, shocked eyes. He wasn't just brave. He fought with the kind of courage she had seen only in legends. The rebels fell back, stunned by the human's aggression. The queen stepped forward now, her blade igniting with bright blue fire. Her armor glowed, her presence growing powerful and unstoppable. Together, they ended the attack. When the smoke cleared and the hall grew silent again, Aaron leaned against the wall, catching his breath. The queen stood close, studying his face with unusual intensity. Her voice softened. You risked your life to protect me. Aaron wiped sweat from his forehead. You risked your life to test me. I guess we're even. The queen took a slow breath. Something was changing inside her, something she didn't fully understand yet. As they continued through the palace, the lights returned to normal. Loyal soldiers secured the halls. The danger was fading. But the queen was still deep in thought. Finally, she stopped walking. They stood in front of a large chamber holding a strange object floating in the air, a glowing cube, shifting like liquid light. Ancient runes moved across its surface. Aaron stared at it. What is that? The queen's voice became quiet, almost reverent. An artifact from the First Age. It can sense fear, truth, courage, and destiny. She stepped closer. It reacts only to beings who carry rare strength in their spirit. She turned to Aaron. I want to know if it will react to you. Aaron frowned. Why? I'm just a soldier. Her eyes locked onto his. No, human. You are something far more. She motioned for him to approach. Aaron stepped forward, slowly, not sure what to expect. As his hand came near the glowing cube, the entire room pulsed with bright blue light. The artifact began to spin faster. Then, it flew toward him. Soldiers gasped. The queen's eyes widened. The artifact hovered just inches from Aaron's chest, vibrating like a heartbeat. Blue energy wrapped around him, swirling up his arms and shoulders. A deep voice, not human, not Varkon, echoed from the artifact. The one without fear has come. The light flashed again, blinding and powerful, before fading back into the cube. Aaron stumbled back, confused. What does that mean? The queen stared at him as if seeing him for the first time. It means the prophecy is true. Aaron raised an eyebrow. What prophecy? The queen stepped closer, her voice almost a whisper. Long ago, the ancestors spoke of a being who would stand before the warrior queen without fear, and change the fate of our empire. She paused. I thought it was a myth. Aaron looked back at the artifact, then at her. Why me? The queen moved closer, very close now. Her glowing eyes softened. That is what I want to understand. They stood in silence for a moment. The air between them was filled with tension, not the threatening type, but something deeper. Finally, the queen asked again, the same question she had asked the day they first met. Human, why did you not fear me?" This time, Aaron did not answer quickly. He took a slow breath. He looked directly into her eyes. And he told her the truth. "Because when I looked at you, I didn't see a monster." The queen blinked. "Then what did you see?" Aaron stepped closer. "Someone carrying pain, not cruelty. Someone who wanted understanding, not destruction. Someone who needed honesty, not fear." The queen's armor flickered, reacting to her emotions. Her voice came out softer than ever before. "No one has ever spoken to me like that." Aaron gave her a small smile. "Maybe no one dared." She looked down for a moment, trying to hide her feelings. But she couldn't. Because for the first time in her long reign, she felt seen. Not as a warrior. Not as a queen. But as herself. Suddenly, heavy footsteps echoed in the hall. Loyal soldiers entered, kneeling. "My queen," the captain said. "The rebels have been defeated. The Empire stands with you." The queen nodded but did not take her eyes off Aaron. Then she said something no Varkhan had ever heard in their history. "Rise. Today begins a new future." She turned fully to Aaron now. "Human. Aaron Hale." Her voice was steady, powerful, and full of meaning. "You changed my empire. But you changed me first." She extended her hand and offered that carried the weight of galaxies. "Stand beside me. Not as a prisoner, but as my ally." Aaron looked at her hand. Then he took it. And in that moment, two worlds changed forever.